Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Company 119's The Coffee Cup. I am Ryan Gilgerson, lead creative at Company 119, and today we're going to talk about blockchain. Blockchain is a buzz term in the industry, so to speak, that a lot of people are talking about in the digital space. So there's a lot of articles right now about blockchain, and I think there's a lot of confusion as to what it is. But I found some really easy ways to kind of digest the basic concept of what blockchain is. And then we're going to talk about some ways that blockchain could potentially impact digital marketing and impact my world and the services that we provide for customers. So blockchain is something that people think can compete with the internet for information sharing. So it seems kind of like a foreign concept to think that anything can compete with the internet, because we kind of think of the internet as this all-encompassing thing, but blockchain could potentially compete with the internet for our information sharing. So blockchain was invented as a way to monitor transactions with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, the way that all the transactions for that type of currency is handled is with blockchain. Blockchain, I think the best way to kind of sum up what it is, the current way we share information on the internet works almost like Microsoft Word, where if you can imagine, you send a document to somebody else and then you can't make any edits or changes to that document until they send it back to you. It's housed somewhere else where you only have access to it if it's given to you. With blockchain, it works more like a Google Sheet. So a group or a network of users share information and they can access it at any point, no matter who else is accessing it. Everybody has access at the same time to all of the information in a blockchain. So it does things like it helps with security, because there's not a hidden place where that information is going to be kept. Everybody can access it. And then it also can't be controlled by any one single entity. So it's a much more trustworthy platform. It's not like one person holds the keys and you have to go through them to access it. You have just as much access as anyone else. Everybody who has access to the blockchain is an administrator, for lack of a better term. So there's a lot of people that think that for security purposes, especially with a lot of breaches that have been going on lately, that blockchain is going to be a much safer way for everyone to share information without having to worry about the complications that come with a one single entity controlled system. So with that being said, how is that going to impact digital marketing? It's going to be very interesting to see the way it plays out. I found an article on it. If our virtual assistant John could bring up our article here on blockchain, this is from Forbes. How much will blockchain really affect digital marketing? And I'm going to bring it up here as well. It's going to be interesting to see how blockchain affects digital marketing. I didn't think, when I was looking at it and thinking about how it would affect digital marketing, I didn't really think about the complications it would have to the advertising side of things, and especially search engine results. So think about this. Right now, in order to rank on Google, you have to, in essence, usually pay Google for an ad that is a Google ad that appears in the search engine results at the top as an ad. You have to essentially pay Google to give access to people to find you. Well, with blockchain, we just said, everybody's going to have access to the same information all the time. There's not a central figure holding the gate for that information. So now what people think is going to happen is, instead of having to go to Google or Facebook and getting ads through them and asking for their help, you could actually go directly to consumers that are on blockchain, ask them for permission to have access to their information, and then you can go directly to them rather than having to go to a third party to get advertising help. So it's really cool when you think about it. That's going to give us, as digital marketers, we're actually going to have an advantage there, because we're not going through a third party to help decide where our ads are going to rank. We're going right to the users, right to the consumers, and dealing with them directly. So it eliminates the middleman for advertising purposes, which is going to be really cool. It's actually more transparent as well. So right now, we're going through, again, through Google, to try to find out how many clicks we're getting, and we're relying on somebody else to put all of our data together, to analytics to find out exactly how people are interacting with our website. With blockchain, we're going to have direct access to that. There's no more going through a middleman to get all of that information. Everybody is going to have all the same access to that data that Google has right now. What's that mean? You're probably going to get better data. It should be, in theory, more accurate data because there's no third party controlling it. Also, think about cybersecurity. Basically, if somebody wanted to hack a blockchain, they would have to hack into every single device and every single user that has access to that blockchain. So in essence, if somebody wanted to hack blockchain, it would be like somebody going into the internet and having to go into every IP address associated with the internet and every device associated with the internet in order to hack it. The reason that the internet isn't as secure as a blockchain is because they only have to go to a few different spaces to get access to information right now. Whereas if it's on a blockchain, that information, it's accessed by everybody. They don't have to go through one central place. So your cybersecurity is going to increase, and that means that you're going to have increased privacy as well. It's not going to be as hard to keep your information secure on a blockchain. And then also, finally, it's going to improve trust. One of the hardest things for marketers to earn isn't a spot on the search results. It's earning trust of people, especially when you're talking about e-commerce sites, when you're talking about doing transactions of business online right now. These hacks that are happening are causing everyone concern. So trust for the internet is way down, and therefore trust for e-commerce, trust that your information is being protected on websites is way down as well. With blockchain, because you don't have those same security concerns, and because it's an ever-updating source, trust in this platform is going to be inherently higher than the internet once people figure out what it is. It's going to take a little bit for people to understand blockchain. It's a concept that's different. You have to think outside the box a little bit, and it's a pretty broad concept as well. But once people understand how blockchain works and can find that comfort with it, that's going to mean increased trust in transactions. And for people that we're marketing for, our customers, they should feel very good about that, because once you've got a customer's trust, they're going to keep coming back to you. And if you have an online business, that's the difference between you and your competitors as far as how you're going to interact with your customers. So that's it. I hope that everybody learned a little bit about blockchain, and I hope that you learn more about how that blockchain is going to impact digital marketing before you finish your first cup of coffee. Then your competition will all day. We'll talk to you soon.